Nigel Drayton started out in the food and beverage industry as a busboy at the age of 15. Now he owns several successful restaurants here in the Charleston area, including Nigel's Good Food. I talk one-on-one with Nigel for this edition of Quintin's Close-Ups. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube channel and like Quintin's Close-Ups on Facebook. Nigel Drayton, welcome to the award-winning Quintin's Close-Ups.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Good to be here.
I appreciate it greatly. Obviously, you are a well-known restaurateur, an executive chef, along with your wife and business partner, Miss Louise. And obviously, you all own two Nigel Good Food locations, and of course, the barbecue joint called the Slaughterhouse. Who is Nigel Drayton these days?
Yeah, more of the businessman versus the executive chef. Looking at putting more things together, getting businesses up and running, mentoring, promoting, developing, and creating streams of income for other people, and just experiencing the ride.
What has that ride been like for you?
It's been a learning experience. I mean, there's things that I thought I knew about the whole business that I didn't, and I'm glad I got the opportunity to experience them for myself. Because everybody's journey is not going to be yours. Some people they gave me advice, and a lot of the advice I took. Some I didn't. And I'm just glad I moved the way that I moved.
And how did you move with that advice?
You know, so there are things that was said to me, like just do one restaurant. More than one restaurant is too much, and I'm like, well, if I just do one restaurant, how am I going to grow? I'm very I would say knowledgeable when it comes to food. So I never wanted to put a cap on myself, and never wanted to hold myself to a place that I couldn't create more, because creativity is my passion. Not so much as the one restaurant, but I have several different schemes of restaurants, themes that I want to make happen, and that's what we're doing at this moment.
So, what exactly are you developing?
Well, we have the two restaurants. The two different schemes of restaurants, but all in all, we got about 7 to 8 different schemes of restaurants that we would like to implement. And then with us, Slaughterhouse was supposed to be the second restaurant, but the demand for nodules was so high, we had to put that on the back burner at the moment, and then create a bigger space for Nigel's Good Food. Right now, we're working on another Nigel's, and then we're doing Sydney Elizabeth's, and that's our upscale concept.
Okay, what got you from Nigel's Good Food to this upscale concept?
Well, to be honest with you, the upscale concept is what I wanted to do first, but being that we weren't a known business yet, I didn't want to put everything on the line with that before I got my name out here. So we opted on going something a little bit more attractive at the time, something that everybody could relate to, as far as the food, the fried chicken and pork chops, and build off of that trademark. And we name brand that name. So now we're at a point where we're comfortable venturing out a little bit because we have a foundation.
What was that foundation before the new restaurants?
Well, the foundation is Nigel's, so we took a little bit of everything that we wanted to deal with,
Yes, sir.
and kind of mixed it in a pot, together and kind of give samples of everything that we wanted, with exclusions to certain things. But for the most, we wanted to hit all the basics. And I think Nigel's has done that over the years. We've been open for about 11 years, going on 12 years now.
What is the biggest difference from 12 years ago to right now when you think of Nigel's Good Food?
The price of food, the price of products, groceries, um, the it's just the the growth of Charleston itself. When we first opened, there wasn't plants down here like Mercedes or Google wasn't a big thing, and T-Mobile wasn't a big. So everybody was still out there searching for employment. Um, and now it's almost like people want to get out the restaurant field if they don't have a passion for it, or if they didn't go to school for it. So that's changed in a major way. The prices that we started off with certain items, um, it was like I can remember one item specifically. It was like 50, $60. Now it's like $120. So it was like chicken wings, for instance.
Yeah.
You got chicken wings that we was buying cases for $60. Now they're $160. So the price point has changed, and you don't want to destroy your menu by raising the price so high that your customers can't afford it. But you gotta place it to a point to where you're still making some revenue off of it.
Right. Right. How has inflation affected your brand?
I mean, it's just our clientele has changed a little bit. And when we started, it was more of the one type of client. But as time went on and we evolved, we got a diverse clientele. And then with that, it's like some people fell off, but a lot of people flocked to us. So we just saw a clientele change, and it's been, and then going forward, then we still have the older clients that comes back. So it's just been a revolving door for the most part for us.
How do you, Nigel Drayton, keep up with the growth of Charleston?
I grew up in this town, so I grew up downtown Charleston. So a lot of things I've seen some people make mistakes, and I've seen people hit home runs. So it's just like I sit back and I observe people and businesses, and I do that, you know, just with the intention, because I want to know what things are. I want to know how things are. I want to see what I do different than other people, and some things I pick up good notes from, and some places I'll be like, why would they do that? So it's just like you know, just like menus, for instance. I'm I'm a theme based person, so I like themes when it comes to menus. So if I do a menu, I want to stick to a theme. I don't want to go all over the place, but I need for those themes to be home runs. So I try to pick the most popular things and stick to those, or create something that I feel that would be popular to put on those menus.
How have you been able to hit home runs for the past 12 years?
Well, I mean, just keeping it simple, and love of food myself. I like what I like, but you can't get too far off to say you're just to create with your personal palate. You want to think about what other people would enjoy eating also. So I try to balance that by putting things together that I see people love, and just try to enhance them. So one dish that we've done was the low country ravioli.
Oh yeah.
When I first put that together, I had some critics, and they was like, "Who ever put collard greens and black eyed peas with ravioli?" And I was like, "Well, you got to taste it." So, the creaminess of the black eyed peas and the punch of the collard greens, I knew would come together with the cream sauce that we put it with, and then we added the protein, the chicken with that, in this grilled form, to create that dish that mends well together. So when you look at it, it's something that can really represent Charleston, and that was a big point for me. Is we got the soul food aspects from it, the low country cuisine aspects, and mixing that with something that's familiar around the world. Ravioli is a very popular dish. So I just put it together to create a wholesome meal for people to enjoy.
When you made the ravioli and you actually tasted for the first time, what was going through your mind?
I wanted something. I came up with that recipe around Thanksgiving. I was like, I wanted something that could represent Thanksgiving, Sunday meal.
Yes.
And when I tasted it, I was like, man, this is a home run.
Wow, that is really really amazing. Okay, what is something that is on your menu that you don't like to cook or even eat?
Mm. Well, it's hard to say. Like I try to put. I'll put it like this. I'm not saying I don't like to eat it, but it's a little bit too heavy for me, and that's my seafood ravioli. I mean, my seafood Alfredo. Um, I love pasta. I love the cream, but it don't love me so much. So that's one of the things. Is just so when I was younger, I probably can eat a tons of it, but I'm a little older now, and I can't put it away like I used to.
Yeah, I understand that. What are those foods that you hope that people will enjoy from your menu right now?
Um, just diversify yourself. Do a little bit of everything. We got Geechee wings.
Yes.
That's one of our popular items. That's my interpretation of buffalo wings,
Mm.
if you would say, because I never believed that buffalo wings uh was such a statement. People love them. It just to me, I'm like, it's just hot sauce and chicken. So I wanted to give it flavor. I wanted to give it its own identity coming from me. So I created a sauce with the same idea of buffalo wings, having it dipped in the sauce and serving a dressing with it. And with that being said, what I did is I created a hot sauce. I prepare my chicken so that the hot sauce can stick on the chicken, and I did a dressing to complement it. I know blue cheese was the go-to when the dish was created, but I wanted something different, so I created a blue cheese vinaigrette.
Wow. What was that one menu item on your menu that describes you, Nigel?
I would say the shrimp and grits. It tells you a little bit of everything about me growing up, what I was raised off, what Charleston is about. Um, I think that is the dish that has the aspect of everything, even the complexion of the gravy is my complexion. So it's just that that right there would put it in a hole for me. I'm like 1,000% that shrimp and grits.
Yes, sir. And what are you imagining right now in order to add spice to your culinary creations?
Well, it's nothing is really imagined. Everything is already put down on paper. We've got logos for our other concepts. We got menus for it. It's all about getting these other ones up and running and getting a system in place so it could run and we can move to the next project.
What is that deemed concept for the new upscale restaurant?
Say that again. I didn't hear you.
Oh yeah, what is that deemed concept for the upscale restaurant?
So when we first opened Nodules, what I wanted to do was bring a upscale, low country type of idea to in the play. Um, First of all, the price point would be a lot higher than what Nodules is. So I was really skeptical about doing that, and I'm the type of guy that I'd rather be safe than sorry. So I would like to do more of a fool's proof plan. Um, with Charleston being the number one tourist uh, destination, now is the time that I can implement something like that and it'll go well. Um, Again, I like to keep things simple. I don't want to put nothing on a menu that people cannot pronounce or not familiar with. But doing it, I want to do it really good so people can have in that experience. They'll be like, those are the best potatoes I've ever had, or that's the best steak I've ever had, or man, I never thought that sweet peas can taste like this. So I want to bring things to awareness that, just because you're doing food in a restaurant, it, it doesn't have to lack flavor and seasoning, and it can still be nice, and the techniques are there, so you can still get everything out of a fine dining space, but you're doing it, with the flair as well.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Nigel, what is the state of food and beverage when you look around Charleston?
It's still growing. A lot of people have ideas. I'm seeing a lot of business entrepreneurs. They're opening up things left and right. So I don't think it's slowed down. The one thing is just the employee aspect of it. The more restaurants you got, the more demand for workers. Um, and now you have uh, people who they want to create their own destiny versus working for somebody else. I believe in, if you want to be truly successful, I think you should go through the ranks and work and get the experience from the restaurants to be able to open your own spot. And it doesn't happen overnight. It takes years to build that foundation so you can understand the seasons, for instance. Every year, I know that in January, we're going to be slower than the rest of the year. I know February kicks off our busy season. Things like that. The weather plays a part in it, and you got to be, and it's almost like it happens every year. It's just annual knowledge. And I would even suggest that people give themselves 5 years to work in the restaurant industry before trying to get out there and get on their own, because it takes some decent amount of money to open up these spots. And then if you fail and you lose it, all your hard work going down the drain, and you got to start all over. And then you might have to go work for somebody what you was trying to get out of in the first place. So I believe that educating yourself is the way to go.
Absolutely. And how did you create your own destiny, Nigel, with your experience?
I started in the food business at the age of 15. I worked at Hyman Seafood. I worked in a lot of big name places downtown. I was sous chef at South End Brewing and Smokehouse. I worked at 82 Queens. I was the kitchen manager at the Crab House. I was executive chef at Vickery's Bar and Grill for years. I won awards. I've been in the game. I've dealt with different employees. So being in charge, you learn a lot about a lot of different people. You see all different types of personalities. You learn personalities, you learn how to read body language, and it's just those are the things that help me along the way. And I still use them as tools today. I teach my staff to use them as tools. Um, we got system in place. We got people in place. I have a director of operations. I have general managers at my store. I have a corporate chef that goes around to all the stores. He's in charge of making sure everybody understands things. So as well, we got kitchen managers and assistant kitchen managers. We have front of the house managers. So it's just we follow the system uh, of opening a restaurant, and that's done as well to where some people don't know what those things are, what they mean. We got a person controlling food costs, labor costs, bar costs. So we got those things in place before we think of anything else. We implement those things, and we just follow the rules basically.
Yeah. And what strategic plan do you have, Nigel, to basically keep up with the rising food costs and labor costs in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, I believe you know so it's almost like the more you do, the better numbers you get. So I want to create and it's already there. Our numbers are there to where we're a demand. We created partnerships with places, with companies, to where I may get better prices than competitors because I just know the drill, and the purchase power that I have helps out along the way. Also, the more you can buy, the more people want to work with you. Companies want to work with you if you can buy uh, things in bulk.
Yes.
Where I'm not a little guy no more. My business ain't the little guys no more. We became a statement. So that's one of the biggest things, and just longevity.
Yes.
Don't be too risky, um, and get away with trends because get away from trends because trends fall off. Get back to fundamentals. The people with you. I'll put it like this: you can. I love sushi. I eat sushi, but I'm not going to eat it every day. You get what I'm saying? So I want something around that I'm going to eat every day, and I'm craving for. So I try to create restaurants and ideas that people crave for.
Yes, absolutely. And I'm gonna get back to that in just a second. But you don't want to do trends anymore. So what are the fundamentals that you're following right now?
Well, just like I said, we've been implemented stuff from the very beginning. We've had ideas, that I put on paper years ago, and you know, some of them was crazier than others. Um, but I I believe in supply and demand. Also, if there's a need for it, that I can't. And I go back to the simplicity of if I'm looking for something that I think that would be good around there and I can't find it, I'm like, you know what, I should just create it. And that's been working for me. So that's one of the things that we were so successful in our Charleston area. I think when we opened, um, there's like Bertha's and Justine's were the only two like low country places. I think they had a place called Silver Spoon also, and they were so far away that you had to travel to get there. So at the time we was right there. We was actually selling food out the house and where my behind the residence behind where my first restaurant is, and he's like, man, if we can find a spot around here, man, we can really do good. And that's what we end up doing. We found I prayed on the spot. The spot came for sale like 2 weeks later. So that's just how we do. That's how we've been doing things. It's just a gut intuition,
Right.
a spirit led,
True.
and it just, when it's time, it's for me, it's time. Um, my kids are getting older. I got a daughter in college that's going in economics, so she wants to open up her first restaurants out of state. My sons, they're interested in the business. I have one as general manager and one as a assistant kitchen manager. So they have always been a part of the business, but now it's their time to kind of get more involved in it.
Absolutely.
And
And do you?
we also have people who've been with us for 5 years or more that we're putting in a partnership.
That's
They have a stake with us now. It's there so they can create situations for their kids,
right.
so that their kids can have a part of what they've been a part of. And it's just a blessing to be able to do that
Oh,
and create
absolutely.
that situation
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of
based off
creating,
our idea.
basically, yes, that's right. Exactly right. And do you want to create any restaurants out of state?
I'm thinking about it. Like me and my partner, my wife, we've been really thinking about that. As much as I love Charleston, there are places that we go to other states, other cities. We don't necessarily want to leave Charleston. We just want to create more, to where people will appreciate it. Charleston is a foodie town. There's a lot of restaurants down here that you can pick from and choose from, and everybody's familiar with the cuisine. And Charleston is very unique when you go to other places. Like, people don't do grits in Vegas, or people don't do red rice in Alabama. So those are some places that we can really shine. Um, and it's not about, it ain't even about competition with us. Because we I feel like we created our own lane.
Right.
So we don't consider ourselves like competing.
Right.
So where you have other businesses and they're just starting, or they just getting off, and they're starting to understand the business, and and sometimes you want to make a little room for people because it's healthy for the economy around you.
Absolutely. What more do you want to understand about the food and beverage business?
Well, we're going into bottling our own sauces. So, and creating our own, we're buying and purchasing it from ourselves. A lot of sauces and breaders and stuff we made in house. So that's one of our ventures that we're going into, is bottling our own sauces and purchasing it from ourselves.
Wow.
So, and that'll create a new avenue for people to have more jobs. So we're looking at keeping the books and creating the recipes, or remaking the recipes, delivery drivers.
Wow.
So we right at this point, we're just making a legacy for our kids and our family. So that's where we're at. We're working hard behind the scenes. We got classes to go to, and other interviews, and other things, and having meetings, and just being really productive. Um, and that's why we're not so much in a restaurant anymore, but our staff knows where we're at. We talk to them on a regular basis. We're constantly doing something. So
Yes. Is a food truck on that list?
I'm not too privy on food trucks. I mean, if I do a food truck, it'll be for the purpose of doing events solely, not as a means of income on a regular basis. Um, we You have to man a food truck. That means the person who's in that food truck, they gotta be on that food truck, and it kind of and it's almost like a catch-22 in my mindset, because you get it with the intentions to have a lower overhead, But at the same time, you got to have a person that's going to be on that truck, and you can't hire so many people to be on that one food truck. You know what I'm saying? It just logically it don't make the sense to me. So when you create a food truck, maybe you have you yourself or your family member or somebody who can really work that food truck, because you what is it, like two or three people on a food truck at a time to really milk it. But to me, stationary places such as like buildings and restaurants, I can get a staff of 20, train 5 people to do the same thing, and then have them teach and just going on with that. Then have like 25 employees at one place versus just having three. Somebody gets sick on that food truck. Well, how are you going to replace that person? And so it'll be, if I do a food truck, it'll be for catering purpose or solely for events.
Events. And you talk about those employees. How many more employees do you want to employ in the next 5 to 10 years?
Oh, well, it all depends on what the business needs. I've never so I got a certain amount of people, just what the business need. We want to create have people in place to service everything that we need when it comes to a smooth and a great experience for the consumer.
What is that experience for the average consumer at Nigel's Good Food?
Well, so if you're sitting down, you should be greeted by a host. Then you deal with a server, and then your server takes your order. The bartender makes the drinks that you order, or the server makes your drink, and then you come to your ordering food. The cooks make your food. The food runner expedites your food out to you. As you're eating, the bus boy or whoever, maybe filling your drink or cleaning up your empties. You should have a manager come and greet you, ask how your food is, and then when you leave, your servers tallying you up for your experience. Then your hostess sings you farewell and asks how you experience. And right there, that's about 5 to 6 employees that you needed for just you as a customer.
That's right. When you look around Charleston and you go to these different restaurants all the time, I'm sure, what is the state of customer service in your mind?
I mean, some places have great customer service, like Hall's Chop House. They have a great training program. I actually serve on the board with one of the owners. He a restaurant hospitality association, and he's I'm in awe what I've seen him and his father. They have done. The Halls is a great company to work for. I've heard good things about it, and things like that. I know about 82 Queens. I worked there. Steve Kish was one of the owners when I was there, and his son's taking on his legacy. It's just I was fortunate enough to see and be a part of things like that, things that I would like to implement, but it's just with my in my restaurants, because of the way how I hire, because I try to aim for more of the non-experienced workers, and when they just coming in, because that's how I came up, being 15 years old, and trying to train them to what I want to happen. And that's one a challenge, because you got to make you're trying to create a situation to where the employee understands your vision, and some things are like, why are they doing this like this? I wouldn't do it like that. Or it's easier to do it like this. So there's a lot of teaching involved in trying to talk, and especially with younger kids who's coming in the business, and serving in cooking, especially in the North Charleston area, where there was in a lot of restaurants, like downtown restaurants, teaching uh, younger people who never worked in a restaurant to actually cook versus the chain places that heat up food. So it's a big difference. So and they're doing a great job with it. So it's just we're going to get to that point, and that's what we're striving to do right
Exactly right. And who is Nigel Drayton in the kitchen?
now. Definitely a leader. I can be a bit brash at sometimes, but I, I I used to be like just a workhorse, just working all the time, just pushing out food, uh, ticket times. Tell me how long this is going to be before it goes out. I don't like how that looks. Do another one. It just was more what I grew up in the business knowing and saying, hey, you know, if I can do it, you can do it.
Sure.
Type of idea, and that I had to learn that's nowadays people get offended uh, with that type of enforcement. So I removed myself and let other some people a little bit more soft spoken, um, you know, deal with the situation, and I try to kind of let them know what I need or what I'm looking for, and let them run it like that. So
What does good food mean to you?
it just means it's enjoyable. It's something that you would like. It don't have to be best food because and people get in a frenzy, and they call themselves the best, or they say the best at this and that. There's no such thing. Like, everybody's palate is different.
Right.
I would never say I'm the best at anything. Other people have called me the best, or said our restaurants are the best, or I don't see it like that. You got a lot of places. Um, Sometimes I don't want my food. I want to taste somebody else's food. So at that time, it's better. So it all depends on what your palate, what you enjoy eating. So it's all about having an enjoyable experience. If I eat something and I like it, then it's good food,
Right. Yes. Yes.
and that's
Absolutely.
cut and dry.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I hate to be redundant for the last time, but what is your vision for Nigel's Good Food and that whole entire brand?
Well, we're creating a legacy, basically. Just like I said, we got about 7 different schemes of restaurants that we plan on implementing, and it's just I'm creating something for my grandkids and my kids and their kids and their grandkids. So it's just wanting to push that to the limit. And I don't think restaurants going no place. The idea of food isn't going to. People have to eat. So I think it's a safety net to say, well, we can really do something with this. We can be a part of history. And I think, fortunately enough, I think we have kind of got our name out there, and we've been recognized by places outside of Charleston, outside of South Carolina. We've been in magazines and on TV. We've really been a staple in some way or another. But our name is definitely out there. So just
Yeah.
continued success.
Oh,
That's what we're looking at.
oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, Nigel Drayton with Nigel's Good Food and the Slaughterhouse and Nigel's Good Food too. Thank you for your time. And again, welcome to Quintin's Close Ups.
All right. Thank you, man. You
Yeah,
have a
you're
good one.
welcome. Likewise.